and or to the channel. Trucker Rod and S.E.E. here. And before we get started in the video today, if you could like, subscribe, share, comment. It all helps with getting the videos out there in the recommended for you. So I would really appreciate it. I see more new subscribers this week coming on board, and I thank you and welcome. So I am today at the Pilot on I-64 in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. I couldn't make it to my customer by the time they closed the doors. So I'm running about almost a full day ahead of schedule. But going into the subject today and a couple things, I am going to show you, I got this new trailer with me. I am just going to cut away at the end of the video to show you that how it works and all that compared to the other one that was in the truck reveal. So anyhow, today I wanted to, there's another video I'm going to talk about similar subject, but this one is, we are in an economic downturn and many people there's going to be mass layoffs. It's already been happening. I think they said already since the beginning of last year there's been over 2 million layoffs. More are coming this year in 2024, and I know I've talked a lot about different things in the past when it comes to economics, financial stuff like that. Stuff is real this year and is only going to get worse by the end of the year and into 2025, March into 2030 with this whole United Nations World Economic Forum and all that 2030 agenda. So they really want to have more surveillance on us, more government control on us, and that could be in the way of you know, the CBDC, carbon footprint. You know, there's all kinds of stuff that they just basically they just want to monitor us in such a way, and to me it's just more power grab, more ways to tax and grab more money from us, because in the end of the day it's just the global elitist, it's the wealthy. So like I said, we won't get political on this channel, not going there, but I just know that when it comes to money, it really changes the mental mindset of an individual when you have more than you need. So it makes you think in very oh, what's that word, not nefarious, but narcissist way of, you know, feeling you're above people and they are below you. So anyhow, with that downturn in the economy, people are going to make career moves. They're going to make career changes. So usually, now I went through this, the .com crash and that implosion. I was burned out, tired, and just saw an opportunity to move myself into a different career. I jumped on it. So we'll talk about that subject as the video I want to talk about, go a little more in depth of why and what my mental mindset was on that, more than what I had talked about a couple videos ago. But people are gonna, you know, look and say, hey, my company closed, my company laid off, I am out of work. Now, whether you're working in a tech sector or some way that you can freelance and do things more individual, where you can be a independent contractor instead of being a W-2 employee and what have you. But if that's not the case for many people, and you're like, I'm gonna have to go back to school, learn a new trade, learn a new subject, or you know, as such, and I want you to at least take in part some experience I've had through the .com and the GFC, the global financial crisis of 08 through 2012, when everything was on a downturn, because I was on the tail end in 2012 of getting let go and everything just going down. You know, money supply to work, you know, the work just wasn't there. And the pay sure wasn't in the field I was in compared to where I'm at now. When I moved myself into trucking and going into a healthcare field with my bachelor's degree, and then of course in the chiropractic, I did a lot of my free time of going out and shadowing, researching, talking to people in the field. So how do I break this down? So 2000, I went to some seminars, met a doctor that was running the Life University in San Jose, California. So I got to meet him, listen to him. So I was listening to a lot of these gurus. I listened to a lot of individual chiropractors in the field, in the trenches, working every day. You know, the biggest influence was my friend Dr. Alan Sagish, who, you know, I want to say professional health one, chiropractic in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So he'll be pretty easy to find. He's a really great guy. He's gone in a direction I would take my practice, and he really aligned himself in that way. But not only has he diversified his practice, but he also is a great businessman. So like I said, this will be a subject in later time. But I shadowed him a lot. So that's what I'm getting to, is get out there and shadow people in a field that you're gonna go in, read, dig, and research what you're gonna go in. Because I got on the back, you know, like I said, with my bachelor's degree, when I left chiropractic school to take care of my son and moved back home, I fell back on my bachelor's degree and I worked in the healthcare, thinking that, well, actually that was a good fit for me at the time, because being in this truck, or being truck driving and being long hours away from home, was not going to work, because it was a bear from, you know, the early 2000s up until my wife and I met. It was just a bear to get, especially in the summertime when I was working 2 jobs when I wasn't in college, having to get someone to watch him during the day. And I'll tell you, he and I have always talked about this, but it was atrocious, these summer camps and all that. He hated it for the most part. But that was on, you know, going into that, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of reading, looking into. I even went down to the school that I wanted to attend. I spent a whole week down there. I did about 3 days of seminars, and instead of just listening to the university recruiter and the people in administration, because they're going to sell you everything from unicorns, pixie dust, and dreams, you know, to come to their school, you know, come to their team. So that's what it always is about. But I got an inclination in my head to say, you know what, let me pause. And I took a half a day. I walked the campus, mainly in the courtyard, and I stopped people. Don't know them from Adam, just randomly, and just asked them different questions, random questions. You know, why are you here? Why did you come here? What made you go into this field? Do you like the school? What do you like? What don't you like? You know, the pros and the negatives. It really helped me. I mean, I was getting a lot out of the chiropractic side. I mean, there was you know, in any college, they're always going to have some BS classes. I had it at Central Michigan University with my bachelor's degree. But do your homework, do your research into the field you're going to go in. Make sure the investment you're going to put into getting that training, getting that higher education, that on the back end, that pay is going to be there, because that's what we're running into with the student loan debt and the forgiveness and all that, because people are out there out of work holding 1, 2, 3, you know, degrees, or, you know, a bachelor's, master's, PhD, whatever, and they just can't find work to sustain the everyday living, whether it's, you know, shelter in place, food, medical expenses, transportation, and then you get your student loan debt. So just put all that on the table. I mean, I walked away from leaving everything I did and having, you know, 10 grand in the bank and debt free, no car payment, no nothing. So I just beg a lot of people that are going to go out there and start a new career to look into it. It may sound good, it may look good, you know, if you're getting inspired through TV, or, you know, a lot of these students when I was at chiropractic school, they were influenced by doctors. Well, my local chiropractor, you know, he's driving a Ferrari, and he has a yacht, and he's living in a big house. All right, how over leveraged is he? Are you asking those questions? You know, how over leveraged is he? And how many years has he been in the field and working to where it took him to where he could start getting into that stuff? Because I've got friends in other businesses that's taken them almost 20 years before they were able to go out and buy their first new vehicle. You know, they had a second mortgage on the house to get their business going, but now everything's paid off. So just be mindful. Don't get so caught up in everything that's being sold to you, because boy, I'll tell you what, whether it's our government or if it's the TV and corporations, they know how to market. They know how to just tweak and sell anything and everything to you. And you know, it's a pipe. Some of this stuff is just a pipe dream. So I just want people to be concerned, that aware, to go out there and look into that field and walk. You know, if it's in healthcare like I did, walk the floor, walk the halls, know what you're going to be going through day in and day out. I always made fun. I was not a nurse, but when new nurses, you know, people, I would always hear these girls and guys, oh, I want to become a nurse. Hey, great, go be a nurse. I'm telling you, nursing school is going to be as bad as military boot camp, because they're going to beat your mentality up. And then, if you don't know, go ask the nurses at the hospital if you plan on working there, or if you're, you know, because that's where the money's at. And because if you're just going to work in private practice and that, it's going to be, you're going to be limited. Let me tell you, there is a difference in pay. So like I said, know to do your research. Look at private doctors' offices to working in the hospitals. The hospitals are going to pay more, especially if you have a specialty, because nursing and doctors are worth going in RN. And when I say nurse, them and doctors, that's where the money's at in healthcare. Either mindset yourself to go in those, or don't do any of the others, because I've seen everyone from radiology down to what I was doing, janitorial, cleaning, maintenance, biomedical, who maintains and works on all the equipment that runs on IT. So I've seen them get furloughed, seen them get laid off, seen cuts. When they do hospital cuts, hospital's going to function on two things: RNs and doctors. Everyone else is expendable in my eyes, and we saw that during the COVID. So ask, when you go in, and especially if you're going in like healthcare, and I'm using that as an example, go in and ask them how they fared if they were, you know, working and in the trenches through the COVID era, and see if they were furloughed, if they were so overwhelmed in work that they just wanted to give up and quit because they got beat up. I mean, I had long hours out here, but pretty much I was alone and left alone, and I didn't mind it. But they had all these people breathing down them, people coming in sick and what have you, and freaking out because of, you know, this whole thing going on, that, you know, I'm sure you're going to get a different telltale now than you would if you went in and asked in 2019. So I want you to at least get out there, get in the trenches, see what these people are going through, what it entails, because back to when these girls and guys wanted to get into nursing, and when you got into the hospital, I'm telling you, you're going to be on your feet, 12-hour shifts, you're going to be working weekends, holidays. Oh, no, I won't. Oh, trust me, I've seen people flip the script, because all of a sudden they're working Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, and you got to take that rotation every year. I had to. I've worked so many Christmases over that span of nearly 10 plus years of in healthcare. Thanksgivings, 4th of July's, New Year's, Christmas, and I can tell you, when my kids, especially my son, sit down, he can tell you all the times that I was working holidays. So you know, Sundays, Saturday and Sundays. So have fun with that, because I remember when I would have friends and they were like, well, just call in sick. No, there is no backup. Everybody wants their weekends off, so when it's my rotation to work the weekend, I had to work it. And especially if you come from a manufacturing background or an office background where you're working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, you're in a structured, you know, area like that, where healthcare is, and what I always told people is, it's 24/7, 365 days a year. You know, and they're like, why do you got to work the weekends? Well, where do you go when you have a heart attack? Someone's always at the hospital to take you in and care for you when stuff like that happens. Whether it's 2 o'clock Sunday morning, Saturday morning, Friday night, you know. So just know, and again, I'm coming back, look into what you're going to transition to, because this is going to be a big thing for people that are getting laid off and their careers have come to an end and they're like, I can't retire now. I'm financially still not stable. I've got to make a move into something else. Look into that so you don't get into something that the investment is going to be overwhelming for what the return on the pay is on the back end. So that's what I'm getting to. Comment down below. Let me know if you've had to do that through the .com bust, to the GFC, or even now, you know, post pandemic and all that. I'd like to know your side of the story, and if you've had to go through that, or even just, you know, in a career change, because we always in our midlife, the higher percentage of people make a career change sometime in their life between 30 and 50 years old, right in their midlife. So comment, let me know. I'd really like to hear some of your guys' stories, but that was mine. I did it, and then I'm going to go a little more in detail about my side, but I just want you guys to get out there and get in the trenches in that field you want to go in before you step forward into the education or the on-the-job training or whatever it may be. Don't, you know, and that you get so invested into it that you turn around and say, this is awful, I hate this, what was I thinking? You know, those are things that are going to resonate in you very quickly. So don't get caught in that trap. So just be mindful. Same thing out here. These I've seen office yuppies in the past, in the 90s and the early 2000s, get laid off in a banking job, a big high-end office job. Then they go to truck driving school and they think everything looks glory when you're driving down the road, until they get into the shit of things out here in the trenches. And then I've seen guys like, oh, what was I thinking? This is stressful. I'm away from home. I'm away from my family. You know, and every job's got a different mindset. So mine's different than the guy that may come out here at 35, 40 years old after being maybe structured at home every night and having his weekends off. So therefore, just want to put this out here. So thank you very much. Stay safe. Continuing educating yourself. Remember, knowledge is learned, not taught, and we will see you in the next video. All right, we got to the back of the trailer here, and I just wanted to just show you this real quick, what we do. And this is the newer version of these lift gates now. So this is 2024s, maybe a 25 model, but we just got these January, February this year. So this is it here, and so back here is the toggle switch that powers it up. These light up, and as you can see, those light up. It's awfully quicker, but it's a two-hand operation. So that's the issue. So I want to say this one, when I press this top button over here, all four light up. What that does is allows the lift gate, that button and that button will tilt the lift gate so to get it level out here, so it's not drooping down or drooping up too high. And this will go up and down. The bottom button, it just lights up those two, basically just in a horizontal, so that's how you got to look at it. and that's just going to roll the lift gate in and out when it's folded up, and to tuck it away. But the top one here, that basically with the four-light lid up, that's basically where you're going to work it once it's out, unfolded, because it's a bifold. But once it's unfolded, then you can adjust the level, because every stop's a little different. So I usually check the level, so with that tilt, and then just up and down to get the product from the trailer down to the ground. So that's it. And like I said, this thing here, as you can see, it's mounted on, so that's like a big tablet, and it's got on the back side a USB cord plugged into it. So that's all it is, and it's that thin right there. So that's all it is. There's nothing protruding in the back or anything. So that's it. I mean, that's all of it. So that's what I'm dealing with. But oh, I had this, and the problem is, when you look, there's the tires. So everything that sprays up comes back and hits all this. End up being, we were still like a 14-degree weather, 15-degree weather, in the teens. But I got the lift gate, went out, went up and down, but it wouldn't come back in. This thing was just going dead in the water. So I actually pulled away from the customer's dock, went out in their the open area of their property, turned the trailer, and got this in the sunshine. And even though it was cold, but the sun just sitting there baking on this, warmed this up enough, because this thing had gotten wet in behind these buttons, and basically it just enough to get it connected so it'd slide back in. I just couldn't get it to come back in, and I'd stopped using it for the rest of the route, just hand unloaded everything down to the ground. It's a pain in the butt. But with that said, I took it in, and luckily then the power button, nothing was powering up back here, so it had taken on enough water and it was cold enough, so at least the service manager saw everything. So I don't know what got corrected, nothing's been said to me, but that's the downfall of these lift gates. They work great when they work, but when you're in the Midwest and you're dealing with salt and the snow, ice, and the freezing temps, I'm telling you, just about every single trailer in the last 10 years has had a control operation problem, and no one, and as much as I preached it up and down, no one takes heed to rectifying the problems. So it's more insulated and out of the elements. They just decide if it's working, fine for now, but I'm telling you, and with all that wheel coming this way, I've seen this thing just covered and packed full of snow, to where you're in here just trying to dig all the snow out so you can get to the controls. That's how bad the snow and everything kicks up. And I'm not a fan, but hey, it is what it is. So just wanted to show you all this. This is the new control panels of the lift gate. So until next time, folks, thank you.